All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to do a quick audio check. Can everybody hear me okay? Arthur, good, good, good. Jim, excellent. Peter, excellent. All right, good, good. All right, so how's everybody enjoying the presentation so far? It's something very, very different that we've done. Let me tell you, listening to Mr. Fisher and having somebody of that level of controlling and knowing so much and and ranked the top 30 most influential people in this world. It's just great and a privilege to have him on, and hopefully a lot of you were able to listen. And guess what? We're going to have him back again. And, this was his first one he's ever did, believe it or not, And there's always a first for everybody. And not only that, remember, which I'm going to tell you a little bit later, there was another first of something that every single one of you probably would think would have done it several times, and I'm going to talk about it next. So anyway, I'm going to be talking for about 45 minutes, and then we're going to bring out our last presenter, one of my ultimate favorite presenters, and I always learn something so much about Norman Hallett. So you don't want to leave and listen, because Norman always has something that's going to totally throw you off your rocker and make you fall off the chair when he comes on. Because one of the biggest things that I always find that people have a problem is why a lot of people make big, big mistakes in the market, because a lot has to do with discipline. Well, Stephen, regarding about the picks, well, I'm going to talk about picks today. That's what I'm going to talk about now. I'm going to explain a couple of things, because remember, it's not about buy here and buy there. It's about you figuring it out yourself. So what I'm about to do is I'm going to talk about how to achieve trading success by mastering your emotions. And I have always found that trading in the market has always been a problem when it came to emotions, because a lot of people just don't like to take losses. No one likes to take losses, and also some of us have like a very tough time to sit back and take the time to kind of learn why we're making money and why we're losing money. So let me just change the slide here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get started. But let me do a quick little intro and tell you a couple of things we're going to be talking about. First of all, we're going to talk about discipline. We're going to talk about trading journals. We're going to talk about high-frequency trades. We're going to talk about the KISS method, stocks that we've traded, and so much more. Now, like I just told you, for Mr. Fisher, there was a first for the great guy that I'm standing right behind in that photo, ringing the closing bell, Mr. Steve Forbes, Mr. Forbes, that was the first time he has ever rang the closing bell. That was last year that I rang the closing bell with him, and I had a great conversation with Mr. Forbes, because on the right of that picture, and I know that Enzo was talking about it earlier regarding about So's Bandits. Now, I don't know if anyone here ever heard of the So's Bandits, but I was one of the original So's Bandits that started back in the early 90s, and I was a trader. I was a market maker who started this, several years ago, and over the years, he wrote a big article about it regarding about a bunch of kids tormenting Wall Street. Well, I was one of those kids, but we were not tormenting Wall Street. We were basically just making a fair market system, and that's what the great opportunity of what you guys had. The bell doesn't make the sound, so why? Well, when it comes to Mr. Forbes, like I said, it's an honor and a privilege to even be up there, and for someone that was on the presidency to be up there, it's been great. But the thing is, all of us have to realize that just because you have a lot of money and you run a very successful business doesn't mean you have to be a great trader. Like Mr. Forbes says, he goes, I'm not really a trader. He's more of an investor. He's more of an economist. He's more, he's more of that influential person that could kind of and surrounds himself with great traders. And and myself being a 12-time champion at the World Traders Expos and the money shows, this is something I want to kind of educate you, because once again, I believe you and I are in the same page. We are basically very, very similar, and we're just trying to, make a day's pay. So let me kind of explain to you how it came to fruition and how I started. Now, for some of you, I don't know if anyone here got my book. My new book just came out called The How to Beat Market Makers at Their Own Game. It's the first day trading book that hasn't been out in over 20 years from Wiley. So at the end of the presentation, if you guys like to read, it's a fast read. It's a great read. think you guys will enjoy it. Rod, well, thank you very much. It's brilliant. Errol says, I got it. Excellent book. Well, thank you very much. And, if anyone is interested in that book, I'll just give you the link right now while we're talking about it, right? And we'll get that book out to you immediately. Let me just give you that link, and I'll share it with you. There we go. There you go. So there's a link if you want to look at it. But once again, Taz, and this goes for everybody, you don't have to be a day trade you could be a swing trade, you could be an investor, but honestly, when it comes to trading in the market, a lot of what happens over the course of the day is what will trickle down as a swing trade and investment, okay? You have to understand something. When you trade the market, okay, many of you probably, I don't know if anyone was ever affected by the flash crash. Anybody remember or affected by the flash crash? Okay, so when it comes to stuff like that, and how all these things happen, or maybe you traded Facebook, heard about Facebook when it went public, and like how did people get locked out of the market? All that stuff. Taz says, I made a lot of money in the flash crash. Well, then you are a day trader. So you can't look at it that way. So unfortunately, that made a huge opportunity of it, and that's what we need to understand. So the thing is, you don't want to be going into the trading market and not knowing what you're doing. Okay, you don't want to be confused. You don't want to sound stupid. You don't want to, you don't want to be guessing on your trades. You're smarter than that. And you know what? Everybody here is going to trade their own money, no matter what. Every single one of you, because we all have IRAs, because the government forces to it. I mean, I don't know about you, but I mean, any way we could save money in taxes, we'll do it, right? That's why we have these retirements. Well, it's coming to a point where you're probably going to have to start trading it. So, but you don't want to lose it. You work so damn hard, and what's happening, you think you got all this play money because you don't see it. What is a little education going to do? It's not going to hurt you. So it will help you. Now, when it comes to trading, you got to know the difference. There's a major, major difference from day trading, swing trading, investing, because when it happens, when you swing trade and invest, you got to remember that you're exposing and holding positions overnight. And you could lose it all tomorrow, so you don't want to do that, and or unless you can afford to do that. Day trading, you're just in and out the same day. We don't care what we trade. We just want to, we just basically, you can call it, people, you could bash it as much as you can. People call you stock jockeys. People call you, oh, you're just there for the fling of it. You know what? At the end of the day, it's a very substantial income, and it's a very substantial, great job. But most traders on Wall Street, most traders, mutual funds, hedge funds, they were all day traders. Every single one of them were day trading. So when it comes down to it, ladies and gentlemen, and when it comes to trading, if you learn the discipline part of it, then that will help you understand why you need to be more responsible when it comes to trading and become more of a swing trader and a day trader. So just keep in mind, swing trading is more buying and holding. Want to make you want the market to go up. Not too many people think of a shorting market. You focus on fundamentals, long term. Focus on securing investments. You look in average to 10 to 20%. But day traders, we don't look at it that way. We look at to make 20, 30% a year, sometimes even 2% a day on the average. We just buy and sell over the course of the day, find out what's moving, and there were a lot of stocks that were moving in today's markets. I mean, I don't know if you noticed. What was the big stock that was in the news today? Probably some of you have never traded before in your life. All right. What was it? ScanDisk. Anybody heard what happened to ScanDisk today? Stock went from $88 down to $66. It got destroyed. Down $15. Right? Kraft. Sherman, when's the last time you ever even think of trading Kraft Foods? Right? So day traders, this is what we look at. Kraft Foods did phenomenal. We did very, very well. But there were better stocks than that to trade. A lot better stocks. There were stocks like you probably heard of, like Lumber Liquidators. How about that one? When it came out with news on 60 Minutes, it went from $70 all the way down to, was it $30 right now? You know, why couldn't you short it? Why didn't you know it? And that's right, Donna. DPLO. Anyone heard of that today? That was a big winner today, actually. DPLO. Look it up. Went from $29 to $35. What's wrong with that? 1,000 shares of a $29 stock, and from 9 o'clock this morning to 10 o'clock, it closed at $35. $6 on 1,000 shares, $6,000. I don't know. Anybody have a calculator? What's 6,000 times 5 days a week times 52 weeks a year? Well, welcome to the day trading market. That's what day trading is all about. Not bad for a day's pay, right? Well, these are things that we've traded. By the way, any students in any cyber trading university students here, or cyber traders? Any cyber traders of cyber trading university here? Great, great, great. Well, thanks guys for coming. Hope you guys have been enjoying it. And if anybody would like to hear hear anyone to confess or were witnesses of these things, feel free to ask, because they'll be happy to share it with you. The thing is, I love teaching, okay? And the reason why I love teaching and why, equities.com loves to go out there and offer all this education, and you'll find, Ken Fisher coming here today. I mean, does Ken Fisher really need to be here? He's probably got 10 jets. He can have fun, spending time with his kids. Why they're here is because we feel not only do we want to give back to the community, but we want you guys to learn what's going on, because we hate seeing people lose money. It's a 70% failure rate. And the reason why it's such a failure rate is because a lot of you are looking at it at every stock as more of like, as an owner of that company. Oh, I love the company. You know what? That is great, but you still have to have the mentality of this is a business, okay? And when it comes to trading, you need to treat trading like a business. And a lot of you don't do that. A lot of you don't trade it like a business. Do you think Mr. Fisher became a billionaire because he was a great trader, or he inherited the money from his parents? No, he got into the right investments, and not only that, it was people like you that gave him the money to make smart investments out there. And guess what? Same thing you're looking to do. You surround yourself with great traders, you become a great trader. And that's what you have to look at it. That's what trading is all about. So, and the first thing I always find people make mistakes, they go out there and they want to trade their own account. They want to go out there and buy and sell it. They want to try it out. Listen, a little education, a little access to the market to see what it's like is extremely dangerous, extremely dangerous. I like to compare it to, like, the little teenager kid takes the keys from his parents and says, oh, I'm allowed to drive today, so why don't I go out and do it? You know as a parent that if you ever found your kid driving a car and he doesn't have a license or pass his road test, you know what's going to end up happening. Number one, I don't even want to even think about what you would do to him. But number two, you know it's just a matter of him, killing himself because he doesn't know how to drive. Well, guess what? Most people in the market don't know how to drive today's markets. So you have to understand about the discipline part, okay? Now, when it comes to psychology, and listen, there's no better person who's going to talk more about better in psychology, Norman Howlett, after me. But, and I've used a lot of these terminologies that I'm talking about because I've learned from Norman myself. I've taken courses with him. Remember what I told you. Great traders never stop learning. Now, when it comes to discipline, one thing you need to do is control your cool. Okay, and what that means is that some of these stocks can get you very, very depressed, can get you very nervous. I always like to tell people that if you buy a stock and you just don't understand why the thing's going up and down the way it's doing it, just get out of the position. You should not ever feel fear of trading a stock. You should always know that you're always in control. And I'll put this in perspective. Have any of you guys ever driven in a car with a teenager to just learn how to drive? I had a niece of mine that just started learning how to drive, and let me tell you something. It is the most scariest thing in the world. I'm like, get me out of this car. Let me drive. She's got 1 foot on the brake, 1 foot on the gas. She's like, I swear, you feel like you're paranoid. But think of yourself driving that car. Do you ever feel that paranoid and nervous that you're going to crash or you're going to die? No, you don't. Otherwise, you wouldn't drive it. Well, a lot of people that trade the stocks, they do feel that way. And you can't be in that mentality. You have to know that you're always in control of the market. And what are some things that you feel that's being in control? I guess that's what people want to ask. How do you know it's being in control? Well, I'm going to talk about those things in the next few moments. I'm going to show you about how tools and bells and whistles that you could use, which is not the Fausto Pugliese or Cyber Trading University indicator, but things you can get, from any brokerage firm. But the way you have to do that, you have to be focused when it comes to trading. Okay, now one thing you have to remember, trading is a part-time job, okay? And the one thing that you have to keep in mind that this is not a full-time job, and not only that, but when you're ready to trade, you have to learn how to paper trade. You need to practice, 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 practice. I don't know what the rush is when people start going out there and want to trade and says, oh, I hate people that come up to me and they says, let me try it and see if I like it. If I like it, then I'll go out there and, then I'll learn how to do it. Yeah, that's the guy that's the guy that I want to send my money to, right? Okay, so the thing what's great about these execution companies is that they offer paper trading. You could practice. And let me give you some great advice. If you can't make money on paper trading, there's no way you're going to make money with real money. So use these tools that these brokerage firms offer you. And one thing I tell everyone to do is when you're ready, start practicing small. Now, just out of curiosity, I have a question for everyone in here. Can everyone just give me a chat back and let me know, what kind of trader is everyone? Are you an options trader, stock trader? Are you an investor? Are you a futures trader? What kind of trader are you? You got some day traders, stock traders. Don't be shy. We have over, a few hundred people in here. Now, be honest too, okay? Are you really satisfied? Are you making, are you making money in the market? And even if you are, is it what you would think you were making, that you should be making, or is it not enough? Just, yes or no. Ely says, hell no. Look at that. Big, big no. Not enough. From Les. Donna says yes, but not enough, not enough. Okay. Nowhere near from Pratish. Never enough. Okay. Well, I guess that's why most of us are here, right? We're dying for education to kind of get the idea how can we do better so we can meet it? Well, first of all, I want to tell everyone, there is no such thing of crystal balls. I look for it. I went out and tried to find a unicorn. I heard about it, but I never seen one, okay? And please don't ever think getting stuff for free is going to also make you money, because the only thing that's free is the cheese in the mousetrap, all right? So when it comes to trading, ladies and gentlemen, you have to practice, and you have to practice consistently, and starting with small shares is where you're going to make it, okay? You got to see the consistency. One thing I do with my traders is I kind of train them how to journal themselves, okay? And, because that's the way I was trained. Remember, I live here in New York. I was surrounded by some of the best traders in the world. And my mentors always taught me, and they says, hey, Fausto, listen, you got to know how to play the game. Hey, Tiger Woods, the greatest golfer in the world, he even has like 12 coaches, okay? But the thing is, you have to practice, and if you don't trade, you're never going to learn. I know some of you mentioned options. I was on an options panel not too long ago, and I went. It was called Meet the All-Stars, the Option All-Stars, and I was surrounded by some of the greatest options traders. J.J. McKinnon. Jesus. I mean, Tom Sosnoff. I mean, it was endless. Guys from Thinkorswim, people from TD. All these great options traders. And everyone had their whole philosophy of like why options are better than, how to trade them and so on. First thing I tell people about options is that if you want to be a good option trader, you got to learn how to trade the stock first, because the move in the stock, then it makes the option move. And number two, if you want to find out whose option's better, or just see what the hell happens with an option because they're confused. I said just buy one contract, and then don't plan on thinking of making money. Just analyze it and see why you made money. And this also goes with Forex, and this goes with futures, and this also goes with stocks. Everybody, you'd be surprised how many people just don't even know what the difference between the New York and NASDAQ is. Something as so simple as that. Because, it's like saying, well, what's the difference between a Porsche and a Ferrari? Aren't they cars? No, there's a huge difference, okay? So that's where trading comes along. With TradeStation, we can trade one share and pay only a penny in commissions. That's true, Ron, and that's why I don't understand what the whole urgency is. You're looking to do this for the next 20, 30, 50 years, however old you are. What is the rush? You got to get prepared, and you got to have fun. Let me tell you, this is the cheapest job, the cheapest business to get into, the next closest thing to free. Okay, this is it because you're not buying rent, you're not paying employees, you're not dealing with taxes. I mean, you're dealing with taxes, but this is something that you all want to do. But you got to have fun doing it. And let me tell you, trading is a lot of fun, but you got to know how to play the game because the faster you make those mistakes, the faster you're going to learn when it comes to trading. I always tell people losing money is a good thing because if you know why you lost money, you're not going to do it again. I mean, I don't know how better of explaining it. I had a funny thing the other day too, and another person came into my office in one of my classes, one of my free webinars. It says, "Okay, well, Fausto, so great. So you teach us how to make money. Then I got to pay taxes." I literally fell off my chair. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm teaching you how to make a lot of money in the market, and now you're worried about paying taxes? Let me tell you what advice my accountant always taught me. He says, listen, if you're not paying taxes, you got problems. All right? If you're paying taxes, don't worry. Leave that to the accountants to figure out, but that's a good thing. That means you're making money. Always remember that. But going out there and learning how to do it is a great career. And one of the things you always have to do is analyze your trades. Go out there, analyze your trades, see why you're making money, why you're losing money. It's one of the mentorships that we do at Cyber Trading University, kind of train you exactly why you made money and why did the stock go up, why it go down. Very, very important. I don't know how many people here do this, but does anyone here journal their trades? Like it's almost like counting calories. Do you guys go out there and kind of analyze your trades, why you made money, why you lost money, why did the stock go up, why it went down? Not recently. Okay, well, that's not good. All right. And you know what? Out of all the people that are here, there hasn't been that many. If you didn't answer that question, I would assume that a lot of you don't. It's almost like counting calories. Well, Cindy, to kind of answer that question, I mean, listen, if you don't like, if you lost money, right, it's like going to the casino. If you went to the casino, you lost money, are you going to wake up the next morning, go back to the casino and like, I'm going to get my money back? No, you quit. But you don't. You wake up every morning and you love what you do. You just haven't figured it out yet, Cindy, And that's where I'm saying where, if you know how to control your losses and keep them very minimal, you'll do better than that. You'll do better and you understand because you're going to lose when it comes to trading. It's part of the business. You're not going to bat 1,000, okay? I can't even bat 1,000. So if you follow those rules, ladies and gentlemen, you will succeed when it comes to trading. Now, when it comes down to it, sometimes you want to see a change for the better, then sometimes you have to take matters in your own hands. So how do we become a better trader? We have to learn how to do it right. And what I always find where people get a little too over educated, let's just say it, is they start learning everything that's out there. They want to learn every indicator out there that's existence. They want to learn why this one does this, why that one does that, why is Mr. Fibonacci better than Mr. Bollinger, why my 200 average moving average is better than your 50 moving average, and then when Haley's Comet cuts across through with the SMA, listen, at the end of the day, what are indicators? They're laggers. You don't want to be a lagger, you want to be a leader. A lot of these indicators were started by mathematicians. And, one thing I always tell everybody that if you want to be a good trader, why don't you just go down to the New York Stock Exchange, go watch on TV and see how many charts they have. Not very many. Because then you're going to end up looking like this baby again, which I love this photo. It's a great photo. Because it always makes me feel like how many of you feel that confused? And you know what? A lot of you, remember, we're very educated people. That's why we're here, all right? If we were, we wouldn't be here today. But sometimes when you start feeling like this, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good that, that you don't get it. And, it's like saying, like, some of these kids are so big on computers, and they're like, bam, 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 banging things out. And, and here you are, like, how do they do that? And you don't want to be in that situation. So let's talk about getting into one of the great things that I realized how uneducated I was when I started trading is following the money. All right? So when it comes to trading, ladies and gentlemen, let's think about this for a second. Did anybody do any trades today or this week? Anybody do any trades? Go ahead, you have? Okay, few of you have? Okay, good. All right. And, and if you're not a student, of Cybertrade University, because I know a lot of you are chatting back, anyone that's not a student of Cybertrade University, just a quick question for some of you. When you bought that stock or with any trade that you did you see who was buying it and who was selling it? Did you see the big orders out there? I mean, how would it feel if you were able to see Mr. Ken Fisher's traders go out there and bid for 1 million shares of stock? How much better, smarter, and more money would you have made? Anyone see that stuff? Nobody? Howard, you didn't? Sherman, you didn't? Well, if you got Matrix, that's great. But now the thing is, what is that worth to you? If I was to tell you that you could actually see all the institutions where they're placing all their limit orders, what is that worth to you? What's that worth? Taz, that's not true. You see, and you know what? Regarding about Taz, you know what? I love what he's chatting back, because that shows you that the uneducated part of that you can see it. You know what the problem, Taz, is? And this goes for everyone, because no one ever showed you how to do it. All right? So everyone's saying it would cost, you pay a lot of money. Is it worth $29? Is it worth $29? Of course, $15, whatever it may be. Taz, you sound like you heard of a unicorn, but you never seen one. Well, I'm going to show you one, okay? All right, so let's have some fun here, and let's look at some high-frequency trades. What do you say? The thing that I was always trained by my mentors is that, let me just get my crayons out here. Hold on one second. Here we go. All right. So these are your buyers, and these are your sellers, okay? These are the amount of shares that they're looking to buy, and this is the price they're looking to buy it. These are the sellers, the prices that are out there, and these are the amount of shares that are looking to be sold. Now, does anyone here know how to read charts? Anybody here know how to read a chart, a simple chart, support and resistance? Okay, good. All right, so now you have to ask yourself, who is actually making those support and resistance levels? I mean, where does that come from? I mean, what does that really mean, a support and resistance? Where does that data come from? It comes from buyers and sellers. It comes from supply and demand. So when you look at a stock and you're like, well, you got 200 share buyers, you got, 500 share buyers, 1,000 share buyers, right? And then when you start looking over here on the sell side, you're like, wow, look at that, a 71,000 share seller out there. Interesting. Well, guess what? Unless that 71,000 share order gets executed, it's not going past 29.50. How many times have you seen a stock hit a resistance or thought it was going to break a resistance and it just stops there? And like, why did it stop there? Who the hell stopped it? Who's making this stop? Where did the stop come from? Right? And that's where I got confused. I was like, before I got educated, I'm like, I don't understand. I read every book, every technical analysis told me to do it, and all it was as simple as just following the money. And and here it goes for a an example of a chart. You could see how the stock was starting to break a resistance levels right here, and you're like, and most people would think, oh, it's it's a resistance level, it's going to stop. Well, why does it break resistance levels? Because there was a 75,000 share buyer out there. That's why it's starting to break it. It went past that price right there. It broke it. Why? Because that 2,000 share seller is not going to hold down that 75,000 share buyer. And you know what, Frank? For everybody here, how about this? How about if I was to tell you that I can show every single one of you point blank right in the market? What is that worth to you? If I was able to say, hey, listen, because anyone could make nice photograph PowerPoints, right? I mean, listen, you're like, wow, that looks pretty, but let's see it for real. How many of you would like to see this live in the market? How many of you would like to say, you know what, Fausto? Guarantee it to me, and I'll be your student. Fausto, that would be cool, right? Of course you would, right? Who wouldn't? Well, I got great news for you. At the end of the presentation, I'll tell you, I guarantee it, I'll show every one of you. All right? You're going to have to wait till the end, though. All right, so if you're already planning on doing the trial, well, if you look right here down at the bottom, on the top, right underneath the chat, where all the lists are, you'll see the 1-week trial for the live trading room. If you click on that link right there, that's where you basically would be able to get registered, okay? So that is personally 100% guaranteed. All right? But listen, I'm not done here, okay? I'm just scratching the surface here. I'm just scratching the surface, just kind of trying to tell you guys a little bit about what these big block orders are. They're called iceberg orders, we call them. They're called iceberg orders, and, and this is just kind of trading 101. Trading 101 is, it's just basically just following the money. That's it. Now, you will always see what we call, and some of you I know already mentioned it, yes, it's called total view. A lot of brokerage firms will have it. They call it level 3. They call it, they all got these funny names for it. But, Enzo, who actually worked for the NASDAQ, who was just on prior, he was one of the speakers about this. I mean, NASDAQ and New York Stock Exchange highly do events talking about these, the total view, level 3. And the difference between level 2 and level 3 is about 20 times more data. All right? And yes, these are what we can probably call it the whales. But we kind of call them, the whale is the guy that is placing the bid and offer, but as a trader, we call them iceberg orders. That's an iceberg order. That's what we call them here at Cybertrade University. All right? So if you just kept things a little bit more simple, it will make it a little bit more easier knowing why to get in and why to get out. Because if you know what your profit goals are, and this is another mistake that people make, if you just learn how to make 50 cents a day, 50 cents on 1,000 shares is $500 a day, it's a pretty good job right there to make a nice 6-figure salary, isn't it? We're not looking like, for example, we talked about this stock symbol, DPLO, right? DPLO, it started at 29 this morning at 9:30, and at 10:30 ran all the way to 35. That's a $5 move, actually a $6 move. Did you need the $6? Do you think you couldn't have chased it and made 50 cents anywhere within that hour move and made your day's pay? You know what? We do it every day. Every day we go out there and we trade stocks like this. Now, students here. We had some students here, right? For my students that are here, just to kind of let everybody here know, what was the biggest mover did you guys ever see in the Cyber Group trading room that moved in one day, percentage-wise? What was the biggest mover that some of you saw here, a student, any students that logged in, that you've seen in the Cyber Group room? ROSG, Gene, yeah, Gene, what, in February, that went from $1 to $10, right? FXCM, we traded FXCM, you know, yeah, that stock went from, what was that, $17 down to $1 in 2 days, and then it bounced and went all the way to almost $4. Not bad, right? Plug, BIOC, that was a nice big winner. That was back at the end of February. That went from $1.50 to $5, you know. I think in terms of, but Pepe, 20,000 shares traded today. We're not talking about today. We're not talking about a swing trade. We're talking about a day trade. It's what happened on that day. What I asked is, like, what have people seen their biggest, what are their biggest winners that they've seen in the Cyber Group room? Okay, and that's what you have to look at it, ladies and gentlemen. Marcus said he saw a stock go from $75 to $400 in one day. That was, what was that? That was the ICPT trade, right? ICPT? Yes. Guys, look it up. Did you see what it did today? It went from 250 to 290. Okay. Yeah, I traded that stock. I don't know if anyone ever saw me. I was in Orlando, and I was trading that stock. That stock went from $50 all the way up. Actually, you know what? Let me bring up these stocks. How about that? You know, I keep talking about them. Let me share my desktop with you, and maybe that would help you guys seeing a little bit there, right? There you go. All right, can everybody see that? Everybody can see that screen? Can everybody see that okay? This is the stock that they're talking about right here. That stock went in one day, went from $65 all the way to $500. There you go. What are the other ones that we talked about? Some of you guys brought up some other ones. What was the other ones that we talked about that you guys said? DIOC, was it? Oh, DGLY. Yep, right there, DGLY. Stock went from, look at that trade right there. It went from $3 all the way to $33. Not bad for a day's pay, right? How about the Ebola stocks? Anybody know the Ebola stocks? Remember that we had that whole scare on Ebola? What was it, Lake? That made the rubber suits, right? Lake went from $7 all the way to $30 in about a couple of days. APT is another one. You see, ladies and gentlemen, so this is what I'm talking about. Do we own it now? No. We're day traders. We traded for the day. It had a lot of action, and that's what we traded, you know. I'll give you an example. We traded this stock today. This was a good winner today. We traded. Look at this stock right here, ladies and gentlemen. Right at the open, stock went from $7.40 all the way up to almost $9 a share, you know, and then it came right back down in pre-market, and you could have shorted it. You could did very well with those stocks, you know. So this is what we basically look for when it comes to trading. Here's the DPRO. This is that other one I was telling you about right here. This was our big winner right here. At 9:30, the thing popped, went from $29.40, and in a matter of an hour, it went to $35. Not bad. Can we trade this in an hour, or is the end of the day? That's a good question, Sheridan. I usually trade the first hour of the open and the last 30 minutes of the close. That's why I teach, because it was a part-time job. So if anybody wants a copy of today's slides, please take down my email address or give us a call here at Cybertrade University. We'll be happy to email it to you. Just out of curiosity, and also, could anybody come and join? Has any of you guys ever been in a live trading environment, actually see traders that trade all day, and that will actually even see people try to even making money all day? Have any of you guys ever been in a live trading environment? Becky, no. A couple of you have. Ron says only at CTU. No. Anybody would like to join and see a live trading challenge, an event, and see all these high-frequency trades and stocks that we've traded? DTI, great company, Carl. All right, well, this is what I recommend all of you guys to do. What I recommend everyone to do is that if you're interested in coming for $29, okay, and this covers just the webinar technology, and it's 100% money-back guarantee. What I'm offering is 5 days in my professional trading room, 1 week, 5 days. And if I cannot show you stocks that move up a minimum of 20% a day, I'll give you your money back. Just say, you know what, Fausto, I wasn't impressed, okay? $29, money back guaranteed. You got 5 days in an online live professional trading room, and you're going to see traders making thousands of dollars a day, and there's a great opportunity for you. And all you have to do is just go right on the bottom where you see that little banner right underneath all the names. Says 1 week trial. Just click there, and we'll get you registered for it. And that's basically, and then, you know, and you make the judgment, because let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. The cheapest trade you're going to make when it comes to trading, the cheapest trade is getting educated, because every single one of you need a mentor. Every single one of you need a mentor. Oh, you can, Frank, you can actually click on that link right there. Or if you like, you can give us a call right now. We have education advisors standing by. If the lines are busy, just go online and register online, okay? Friday through Friday, Les, that's right. You got 5 wonderful days, and you're going through the greatest time of the year to trade, so definitely enjoy it. All right, any other questions I can answer, anybody? Oh, it's on the right? Okay, I'm probably looking at it on the different side. On mine, it's on the left. Probably you're seeing on the opposite direction. All right. So then it's probably over. If it's on the right, then it's over there. On mine is showing on the left. You see a little white banner that says 1 week trial, live trading room, chat room. You get all the video, audio, and everything. Any last minute questions before we get excited to start bringing on next most exciting, most influential speaker, Norman Hallett? Before I pass the microphone over to him. Let me see. CTU trains. Well, thank you very much, Wayne, for sharing that. Howard, how do you use this for heavy institution stocks? Well, Howard, the thing is that you're going to see the institution trades, and you're going to see like these stocks making big moves. So if you're in a position and like all of a sudden there's a lot of volatility going on, a lot of action, you know, believe me, you're just a little ant on the floor, okay? And you're just trying to get the crumbs. So these people, if there's a big market that's making a big move, they're going to have to start jumping in and make that big move out there. Richard said, I just did it, what I was told, and now I see it. Well, you're more than welcome, Richard. Thank you. What do you charge for a monthly after the trial? Linda, if you want to continue down the road, we have multiple different type of programs. The best thing to do is you're all going to be offered an education advisor, and he'll tell you a little bit more depending on what kind of trader you are and what you can contribute as in your time. And then they'll let you know what the trials are, you know, the monthly fees, because it's all different for everybody, depending on what kind of package you want to go with. But that's the least of your problems right now, Linda. Don't worry about how much is it next month. You know what? That's irrelevant. You know, if I'm showing you how to make, I'll give you an example. If I show you how to make $1,000 a day, would it be worth $100 a month? You know what I mean? It's all relative. So don't ever look at, you know, what it is. You're not going to get, you know, you got in business you have to spend money. Remember what I told everyone: nothing's free other than the cheese in the mousetrap.